Frank Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. Amazon, you see them up in my corner here. I use them. I'm an affiliate. I made $4 so far this month off of them. A lot of people use them for shopping. I don't personally, but I know a lot of you do. But what they illustrate, especially with what Trump has been hitting Bezos for, is that two-party paradigm and the hunting power that's out there, the corporate power, the corruption, which involves people like Jeff Bezos and the United States government. You have a shining light, if you will, on this corruption, on this corporatism. And what are we to do about it? If you think about it, Amazon is $1 billion monopoly. They have special privileges granted to them by the government. Some are saying they produce unfair advantages. You know, a lot of people are like, leave Amazon alone. But how many businesses, small businesses, has Amazon driven out of the workforce? It's no secret that they, Amazon, have reached a monopoly-esque status, if you will. And that's due to their cozy relationship with the government. And what Trump has pointed out is the massive subsidies, if you will. I'm not sure if they're subsidies, but that's what they're deeming it with the United States Post Office. This is something that's been talked about out there on the alternative media for years, but now MSM has picked it up since Trump has talked about it. They had an analysis out there that Citicorp picked up, which is the deal with the United States Postal Service, which allows Amazon to ship their packages far, far, far cheaper than anyone else, and at a loss to the United States Post Office. I think it's something like $1.40, $1.70, I think like $1.40 or something like that to ship packages. And that's the average. If you look at it, there are millions of Amazon packages that are being delivered on a weekly basis. So if you just do the basic math, and granted, I graduated University of Maryland. I'm obviously not a mathematician. I was in business, but I can do 1 + 1. I know what equals 2. And you can see that this essentially is an unfair advantage to many of the other companies that are out there that don't have access to this discounted shopping. I could tell you at one point I was bought some shirts here, and I was going to put them out there to try to make a couple extra dollars for operations. What I didn't factor in is that it would cost me, I think it came close to $4.50 or $5 a shirt to ship. So basically I made nothing. I get it, I'm a small guy next to Amazon, but you get the drift here. It's essentially a corporate welfare program, government welfare to the corporations. They're subsidizing them. And they're doing this, if you think about it, they subsidize to pay more than 10% of the employees of Amazon. And it's not just Amazon, there's other companies that do this. I believe Walmart does it. Where basically, there was a study by some policymakers. They went out there and they looked at Amazon, and their 6,000 strong workforce in just Ohio alone. And what they found is that a lot of them are on food stamps. Walmart does it. You've heard a million stories out there about Walmart employees being on food stamps. Amazon has created an entire department towards these government subsidies, how to get them. And they're doing it under the guise that it's creating jobs for the populace. That's being subsidized by us, subsidized is the terminology government uses. Welfare is what some of us use. They're immune to property tax as well, to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, this Bezos guy's worth over $120 billion. He couldn't take a pay cut, pay his employees a little bit more, versus taking our tax dollars, our welfare, our subsidy. No, he's not doing that, and he's leaving, essentially, his employees in a constant state of poverty, corporatism, crony capitalism. And they're able to do this with both the right and left, the politicians, if you think about it. Both teams are out there doing this. He doesn't care who the owner is, if it's Trump or Hillary. as long as he can reach his objective. And that's how the political system is set up here in the United States. You hand out enough money to steer the policy in the direction you want to go in. It doesn't matter to the politician as long as money is being thrown in there. They remain totally silent to the different deals that are going out there. If you just look at Trump alone, he brought up this USPS deal, but yet he remains silent on another deal that's being put together right now with the military-industrial complex. A lot of people don't know that Bezos went out. If they listen to me, they do. He got a $600 million contract just before Obama left the White House to build a cloud server. Since then, it's exploded. They're making a ton of money. With that money, he went out and bought the Washington Post. Gave them their asking price. Washington Post is basically a Project Mockingbird for the government. And now they're in the front running for a lucrative deal for $10 billion with the Pentagon. Trump has said nothing about that, but he's been harping on the postage issue. Why? Why not hammer them on both? And if you look at this feud that's going on with the USPS, some are wondering, is it just a distraction so that the military-industrial complex, this war machine, can march on? Bezos can get that contract with very little attention? Move on, folks. Nothing to see here. All while us, the American people, are being conditioned in this essentially two-party paradigm to accept the corruption, to accept the corporatism, to accept the war that continues to make the industrial military complex this out of control system. And it is a system that's leading us down many roads that we shouldn't be traveling. And I put out a video yesterday. I don't think it got a lot of looks at. It was Truman when he warned everybody, or Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, when he warned everybody about the dangers of this industrial military complex. I'll put it below this video on my website. So do we accept the corruption, the corporatism, the war? From the left, from the right, doesn't matter? What say you? This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.